We can keep talking about this, but I'm going to let you know that we're live. Welcome in, everyone, to the Jade Dragons team check-in and Twitter Q&A. We're discussing what mandatory viewing for every Dragons player every year. We had what Dragon Tales, How to Train Your Dragon,
and a school bus.
a little off the beaten path with that one.
The Cowardly Dog.
It should be there.
I'm not sure it's too scary.
Yeah, it's so scary.
What was scary?
Courage.
The scariest episode of Courage is the Return My Slab one, right?
Yeah. Return the slab.
Right, by far the scariest episode of
I don't know if I
Courage.
remember that much.
I don't remember
When he goes in the suit,
That
when they
show's
go in the
really
sewer as well,
traumatizing.
that one's pretty
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
I
talking
just
about?
remember
They see a bunch of different
that
like,
really short, like old guy who would like bully him,
Eu-
or was it an
Eustace.
alien or
His
whatever?
name was Eustace, I
Eustace
think,
is-
right?
Oh, yeah.
No, not the grandfather. There was like a
There's
really
another-
short character that used to come. That had like really weird, wonky eyes. That's what I remember.
Here's a good thing about Alienware PCs.
You just look it up.
We can, well, short old guy, Courage. Oh, you do? You mean this dude, like the old rich guy, that guy?
No.
That dude.
Am I thinking of somebody else?
Because this is
He's like an evil guy, right?
Yeah, he
is
was evil.
Eustace.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about.
I don't
I don't know who
remember.
that
Not gonna lie,
dude
I
is.
feel like all those episodes just blend together for me.
No, they did. It was
I
like
don't,
one
I
big
don't remember
movie.
a single episode.
All right, let's put
Yeah,
them all back.
That show is like a fever dream sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like it comes on. It's your bedtime. You're watching
Yeah, I
an
can't believe I
episode.
watched it every night too.
No,
Right.
that's George Lopez when you wake up in the middle of the night. You're sweating and
You hear the cowbell stuff.
You're like, what time do you look at your phone? It's like 3 a.m. You're like, all right, I get to sleep a little bit longer before school.
That's right. Oh God. Anyway, Smite, right? So How to Train Your Dragon. Has anyone seen? Before we move on, I have to know. Why is it named Toothless? Did we ever
don't
discover
know.
that? Is that
I
a
don't
part of
know.
that
I don't
movie?
think it was toothless. It just had a hurt wing. Or maybe it was toothless.
I think he had like a low number of
missing-
teeth,
missing
you know.
Just
I
Google
see
toothless.
It's on the lower end.
I've never seen it. So.
Toothless. How to Train Your Dragon.
How many teeth do you
No, he
have?
definitely has teeth. Wait, does he have teeth?
I think he does, no?
He doesn't have teeth in this one.
Wait, look up why he's named
Really?
Toothless.
I don't think he has teeth.
Dentures?
Oh, I guess
It's weird because his gums are real pointy.
yeah, that checks out.
All right, so the Jade Dragons will be watching How to Train Your Dragons. How to
Yeah.
Train Your
You
Dragon.
gotta learn.
At some point. You got to learn why it's named Toothless. All right, so we're back in the swing of SPL now. Been a couple of weeks of Season 9. Prior to that, I guess you had like 3 months of downtime, something like that. How'd you guys spend your off-season relaxing? I assume taking a little break from Smite after all of Season 8. Anyone visit family, anything like that?
I didn't really do much. I streamed for a little bit after taking a couple weeks
Smite?
off. Yeah, I took a couple weeks off, streamed for a little bit. I went on a trip with my girlfriend. That was fun. Other than that, just kind of chilled.
Is that the one where you were like smacking her with a pillow or something every night, or?
No, what happened was she claims that I stole the pillow out from under
Right,
her head.
that's what it was.
And I do have a vague memory.
Brutal.
Yeah, I do have a vague memory.
pillow. You need a pillow.
I don't know how that
needs a pillow.
happened, but I do have a brief memory of like waking up in the middle of the night and feeling like I violently like moved in the bed. And I think I literally ripped it from under her head while I was sleeping.
That is rough.
That's tough.
That's a rough way to wake up.
How about the rest of you four? Anything less violent in your downtime?
Most things were probably less violent, but
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
It's a very high bar
Yeah.
that you set for us.
I imagine
I don't think I did anything.
taking a break
kinda
from Smite
chilled.
has got to be important, right?
Yeah.
Did everyone take a little breather from Smite?
I don't even remember what I
post-season?
did. Thinking, I don't know.
Really?
You hung out with your friends, didn't you?
you're home.
Yeah, I was just home in
You
New
had
York.
such a good time.
Yeah.
I remember.
I did have a good time. It was a great time. Beach,
It's
Jeep,
important to get a
top
little
down,
bit of a break.
Good
Labrador
music.
in the
Good
back,
vibes.
Right.
beachside.
God, this downtime was just a movie.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad everyone got to take a little bit of a breather. Start to get into the swing of Season 9. I want to talk briefly, however briefly it might need to be, about sort of the whole gang here. Obviously, Pagon comes in. Season 9 Worlds, I don't think that ends probably the way that you guys were hoping. Anything short of winning Worlds is probably not what you were hoping. However, in depth or not you want to be with this, was there any consideration of the rest of the four of you with other team opportunities, things like that, or did you sort of know as a squad you wanted to roll into Season 9 with this same core four together?
Well, we were definitely considering like a bunch of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I personally was kind of I was a little bit indecisive about whether I even wanted to play. Like,
Considering retirement.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I told like, because there was like a few parties. There was like the after party for HRX. I told like Mike and Max that I didn't really want to play unless it was with them still.
Right.
And if not, I would just like, I'd still play Smite, but maybe just like relax, do some content and stuff.
Sure.
So I did tell them that, and I did get offers from a couple other teams, but I basically, told them the exact same thing. Like, I'm not gonna play if I don't play with them. So that's basically where my head was at. And I was just like not having a ton of fun with Smite at the time, but like now that I'm like playing still, I'm like really happy with it, and I've been enjoying like playing Smite again, and it's been fun. Scrims have been fun.
Because you get assassins in the soul right now.
Yeah.
That's all you needed to change change things around.
Yeah.
I imagine, for you, Fineokay, Pagon as well, and really for the rest of the team. I mean, you're all at different maybe levels of success in the career, right? I mean, everyone has had a successful career here in the SPL, and Pagon, you're certainly well on your way to building one. But, a few of you guys have won Worlds. You're still chasing Worlds. I imagine, for everyone, the motivation, of course, is to win Worlds again. But does anyone sense a different stage in your career from the rest of your team? A few of you winning Worlds with the United, Sam with SK. Would you guys argue that you're all of your motivation is the same strength, I guess, moving into this year, the same level of motivation to win Worlds, despite having accomplished different things, despite being maybe at different parts in your career?
Well, for me, part of the offseason, I was in a very similar spot as Alec, not being 100% sure what I wanted to do. I think last year I struggled a little bit with just being consistent with my motivation, and I think just having some like external factors that kind of made last year a bit tough. But I think going into this year, I just really wanted to try to feel like something was fresh. So to me, that's kind of where Daniel comes in a bit. Like, I'd imagine his motivation is like, I don't know if it's more, but it's definitely like newer. Like, it brings like a different environment. I used to feel the same like when Max and I first played with Alec in season 6. It's like, at the time he had only been in the SPL for like a couple years, and anytime you're playing with like younger players, they just view the game differently or think differently. Right. And I think it helps give like motivation and a different perspective, and it makes the game more fun for people who have been around for a while. So I think that for me has kind of given me like a bit of a kick in the butt, where we're kind of like trying to like teach Daniel how to not turbo into our scrims.
It's not working.
Popping off in scrims.
But yeah, I think it's just fun to play with like a new player and change up the team dynamic. I think it's a little tough because like, the comment of did we think any of the other 4 of us would change? Like, I've always been of the opinion that every offseason you should look at all your best options, and like every team is like, you can stay together, but to me they might as well be like disbanded, and if people go back together, that's fine. But I guess the point of that is that like every offseason, I just think it's important to try to like find ways to keep things fresh, and I think people blamed a lot of last year on hurry, which is just like not fair or accurate at all. So, from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, all we did was kick hurry and pick up Daniel. But I think to me, the team feels a good bit different just because of maybe the experience that a few of us have had over the last year going into this year.
Right. What outside of that, and we'll talk a little bit about Pagon now. Outside of, maybe personal motivation, things like that, playstyle-wise, Smite-wise, what made Pagon the right fit here for this team?
Yeah.
I think I vouched for Pegon a lot in the beginning, because I think through my career in Smite, I've always wanted to play with like a hyper carry mid player. Not to say that Tyler can't hyper carry or wasn't that role, but there's some definitive like hyper carries in the league, like Paul and like Shinto, just like players that kind of get out of control if you give them the opportunity to do so. And I think Daniel was kind of like, what's that saying? A diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough, sure.
Yeah. And I thought he had a lot of potential. And I just think Daniel kind of fits everything that I wanted as a backliner. And I think he's got a very high skill ceiling, given how good he is right now with very minimal pro experience. I'm kind of gassing him up. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all it was. I just think he's, he has a potential to be like one of the best players ever, considering how good he is right now.
Sure. Yeah, That's high praise. You got a lot to live up to now.
I got even higher, which is
Oh my God.
well. I think Max and I talked about it a bit, but like the most confident.
No, please.
Well, the most confident I ever felt in like my backline just like kind of killing everybody was when I played with Baskin for like one split with Max on the United. Like they're both just really good, and I think kind of like that style is more what Max is alluding to. Like just having somebody who like normally Max will bait his counterpart in the backline, and when it can go both ways, it's a lot stronger. I think that kind of happened with like Paul and Cyclone, for example. Like they're just two like good carries, and or like Shinto and Zap. It's really hard to kill one and have the other one not kill everyone. So just sort of that dynamic I think is good, where Hurry's role was more like facilitating the team, which is very good. Like in the Janus meta, he just hard carried our team. But I think it's just like a different style for the team as a whole.
And that's an interesting point, and this could very well be me overthinking it. Is there ever a world where, maybe it goes both ways, where it feels like you four are adapting to the way Pagon plays more than he is like adapting to the way that you four play together, if that makes sense? Does it feel like the team is getting used to a totally new mid lane style, or do you think more of it is Pagon getting more used to maybe SPL level play, or just the way that you four like to play the game, or it could be a little of both? Everyone kind of getting used to everyone's play style.
It's probably a bit of both, right? Like, like I mean, when you're bringing in random picks like a Susanoo mid or something, you know, which like I don't know if that's been done ever.
Right.
Like it's gonna take a little adjusting, but yeah, it's kind of just like bouncing off each other, I guess, and like what we like to do, you know.
I mean, I guess for you as well, you know, a lot of early pressure in mid is what we've seen. So getting used to that, of course, different for you. Pegon, high level or as specific as you want. We got to get to you eventually. SEC versus SPL, you know, it's been fun, especially with a lot of the Valkyries guys to talk to them about this. For you, what sort of differences have you noticed, whether it's day-to-day life, preparation, in-game differences, you know, between how have you spent the last couple of years to now? How do you feel the differences between SEC and SPL?
SPL is definitely a lot more serious. Like, I didn't
With
scrim
these guys?
Yeah, I didn't scrim at all in SEC. Okay, maybe like one game before the tournament, but like there was no practice at all, and we pick whatever we want. We would just show up and have fun, but this is a lot more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like.
In game, do you notice any pacing differences? Do you have to adapt your play style differently to SPL?
I think
when you're actually in the game, what do you feel is different?
There's a lot more calls in SPL, and like people talk a lot more. At least my team, like it's just whatever Sino says, we listen to him, run the fire giant, and we just win.
Flip a coin.
Just listen to Sino.
Right.
That was SEC.
Do the Dragons have a just listen to X player? Is there one
definitely not
voice
me.
above all?
Mike would be
just muted.
closest, I guess, but I don't think it's quite like that at all.
Yeah, we're not that drastic for sure.
No.
I probably talk the most about like you know, on a good day trying to like find plans, and normally Sam and I will like together like narrow down.
Yeah,
like
try to bounce off each other.
yeah, we'll like both give an option, and then we'll just like pick one normally. Yeah, I don't think it's quite the same. Like for us, something I've been surprised about is I didn't expect Daniel to like talk at all. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he was just kind of mute, because I figured that Sino just called everything for that team, but he actually gives a lot more information, or is like more vocal about who he can kill, what he can do on the map than I thought he would be. So that's been a pleasant surprise.
When you've mentioned, you know, it's a different style of perspective, newer, younger player.
Yeah.
You guys do have another angle of behind the scenes help this year. Cheerio stepping in as your coach.
My goat.
Obviously, you know, one of the beloved players in SPL history.
Yeah.
Give me a high level peek behind the curtains here, how he is as a coach and sort of what he's been doing for you guys.
It's a lot of him nudging Sam in the direction of pick Kali, pick Athena, maybe Kabrakan, perhaps in Asia.
Athena came out of nowhere in there.
No, but no, I like Jerry a lot. I think he's also the same thing we were talking about, where it's just like a breath of fresh air. Having a player who has played on European teams his entire career, like team with you. It was the same thing with Ben. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like it's just a completely different perspective, and just like somebody that you like. I barely talked to Cheerio ever in my life, but now like made a new teammate, a new friend and stuff, and it's just cool to have that like dynamic on your team, and he's also just really smart. Like, combined with being a really good mechanical player, he came in with like a lot of cool ideas, like the stuff like we were talking about with like Athena Jungle or like Bracken. Like back in the day when he was on, was it Mouse, I believe? They were running like double Hunter when nobody else was, and they were running like triple Guardian with like Jing Tin solo every game, and it's like nobody else was doing that, but they were winning a lot of games. And Cheerio, I just think, has that, he's always had that like coach aspect to him where he has a lot of good ideas as well as being like a really good player. So he's just been a really good addition to our team.
You think he's taken to coaching pretty well?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd like, I mean, I don't know for sure he'd rather be a player, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there's a competitive drive there, right?
he's definitely still a very competitive person, I think.
Right. But
yeah, I think it fits him pretty well still.
Yeah, I always wanted to like there's a few players around the league that like when you're first like playing, I'm like, oh, I'd really love to play with that guy, and Cherry was definitely one of them that I never got to. So like having him as a coach is kind of cool because as Alec said, you get to like absorb that perspective and everything, and I think it's kind of nice too because I think like having people, especially for me and Sam, like I think Cherry's pretty opinionated on mine and Sam's role, and I think like having somebody to like bounce ideas off of with that is really beneficial.
right. Yeah, well, look, I mean, Benji, he retired, moved to coaching. SOT either got sick or whatever he tweeted out, and Benji got to play again. So maybe Cheerio can suit up again if one of you guys has to sit out.
He might be on like 190 ping.
Yeah.
Probably more.
He'll find a way.
If we could play on European server, sure, why not? Cherry can 1v9.
Yeah, maybe there's a world where he gets to tag back in. Kind of final thoughts on you guys moving forward to this year. Obviously, Pagon, an important and new and exciting change for this team, and Cheerio as a coach. Obviously, an exciting change. Is there anything, whether it's in-game, behind the scenes, prep-wise, anything that you guys have agreed that you would like to change or do differently from Season 8 to Season 9?
How long you got?
2 hours. Just kidding. High level for me then, if it gets in depth.
You want to hit this one, Sam?
I mean, I could try, I guess.
You just seem like you had some. You seem like you had some thoughts marinated. I don't know.
I can say something quick while you think.
Yeah, you
Sam.
go for it.
I mean, we haven't exactly like sat down and had this talk, but especially with Daniel and his play style, and like these are things that we talked about the past few years. I just like want our team to be really flexible and be able to not exactly play different play styles, but just have a lot of different picks that can just be flexible in every role, and just like I think traditionally speaking, like. Smite teams really haven't thought too much outside the box, and like with specific strategies on the map, you kind of just kill camps when they're up. When we have pressure, you go and do this, like all that kind of stuff. But I really feel like teams have never really like experimented a ton with, like even just like role swaps or like just having picks that can go into a bunch of different roles and just doing stuff like that. And I don't know. I think that's a strength that we kind of have on this team that we might exploit this year.
Sure. I won't ask you for specifics, but I'll look out for.
I mean, we've already shown a little bit of it.
We played like Susanna mid, just random.
That's true.
Just trying random stuff.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else have other thoughts on things you'd like to do differently from Season 8 to Season 9, whether it's prep or in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like I think in general there's just so much wrong with Season 8 for like maybe even like everybody, not necessarily everybody, but like a lot of us like individually as well as like a team, Sure. So like, it's like it was maybe like for me at least it was like it ended up being like a little eye-opening, I guess, in terms of like in and out of the game. Like it created like maybe some different like lifestyle changes or other things like that, and I think it's benefited me at least a lot for that kind of stuff. And pretty much just kind of similar to what Alex said, leading into that, just like be a bit more like open into different picks or like. Yeah, open overall into just the way you can play the game, So.
Yeah, I think flexibility and work-life balance, in-game, out-of-game, all that's very important because ultimately it is a job for you guys and coming in here and playing. Let's look at just the league in general. We've talked a little bit about how some years there's these big blow-ups, whole new rosters, those sorts of things. This year, effectively everyone stayed the same outside of 3 or 4 teams changing one player here or there.
Plus Valkyries.
Plus Valkyries, right?
Yeah.
Technically, they're all together as a roster, but a totally new roster to the
Yeah.
SPL.
Yeah.
Why do we think there's been such limited roster movement in general? Do we feel like every team had a high end last year that they might be happy with, or do we have any thoughts on why roster movement was limited?
Yeah, I actually just yesterday watched the Titans one. I saw Aurora had said he thought it was because of the qualifying. I actually don't really feel like that was the reason at all. I mean, maybe for other.
He said what teams wanted to avoid it. I think.
Yeah. I think most people kind of felt like, because like say hypothetically the whole league blew up, then you'd be playing for 8 spots instead of 2.
Right.
Right. So like, I don't think most teams were worried about qualifying in for it. I mean, maybe you lose a bit of an off season, but to me, I just think like if a lot of teams stay together, then naturally it changes like how flexible everyone else is.
That's
gonna
true.
Be, right?
Yeah,
like, If 5 teams stay together, then it's really hard for the other 3 to blow up. Like you'd have to like mix and match
Yeah, there's less
perfectly.
options.
Yeah. So I think at first I was like, I wasn't really that surprised because I expected like the Leviathans to stay together. I thought like, I mean, I had been told by Benji that it was likely he was done, but like other than that, I kind of expected the Titans to stay together, that
Right.
type of stuff. So like, I think especially as the years go on and the league feels more and more competitive, more teams are going to feel like they have a chance to win. So they're going to like, if they have a good team environment, like say maybe the Bolts do or something like that, they're going to want to trust that more.
Right.
I would say like Leviathan's obviously probably not going to change at all. And then there were a couple teams like the Kings and the Warriors who probably felt like they didn't get a fair chance last year because they weren't really on LAN all year. So for them to say like, well, we didn't really get to like fully develop our team, let's give it another chance. That kind of makes sense. That's 3 teams already that aren't changing.
Right.
I think maybe Bolts are a team that is a little bit surprising. They didn't make any changes at all, and maybe a couple of the other teams, but like Titans. But of course, they didn't end up making one change because Benji retired. But yeah, like what Mike said, when there's like that many teams that aren't making any changes, and it's a little bit harder to. Then it gets to the point where maybe teams are a little bit more worried about whether they're going to make it in or not because they can't get other top players that have already proven themselves. So yeah, I think that's partly it. And I think those 3 teams, but just in general, I feel like people probably didn't feel like they got the fairest chance last year just because of the situation with COVID and everything. So.
Well, the Kings have been playing really well. And I want to zoom in on the 2 qualifier teams. We'll start with the Oni Warriors. A lot of the conversation around them has been that, obviously they're a very talented roster, long careers, successful careers for all the guys on that team. The not playing together, not living together, playing on LAN, those sorts of things has been the conversation piece around that team. Now they're all here. What do we think the ceiling is for the Oni Warriors team, and what do you guys expect from them as the year goes on? Maybe give them a phase or 2 to play together. Do you expect a much improved Oni Warriors team? How different do you think they might look from now until the end of the year?
You got something?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their roster, strictly player-wise, I feel like all 5 of them are very individually great. Like, when I think of, like, vote and stuff, like, I mean, he 2 second-place finishes at Worlds.
Right.
I mean, he didn't win, but it's still, like, very impressive to get there back-to-back years, and he was always a great player. And, like, Neil obviously won Worlds with Sam, and he was great, and Dardos is so good. So I don't know. It's really weird that the Warriors are, I don't want to say inconsistent, but they kind of are. I feel like they have a very high ceiling, but I'm not quite sure what's stopping them from just like winning all the time. But yeah, I think as the year goes on, they'll probably only get better and better. I think Evo had like a really rough year last year, like playing from Denmark and stuff. I think he didn't even like want to play. And I know Dardos is on European ping, so I think you give him some time, and they'll probably be a lot better than they were last year.
Yeah. For me at least, I think Nika's always been the most like consistent player of that core of like Nika, Dardas, and Vote, even when they had like Cherry and Rapper. I think Nika's always been the most consistent player, but to me, whenever that team is really like pushing to the top of the league, it's because I think Dardas has been historically like was one of the best mid laners in the league.
Right.
I think the mid talent pool is a lot more competitive than it was in like season 7 and season 6, where I would say Dardas was like for sure a top 2 like mid. Obviously like Paul is still there, but now like Shinto over the past 2 years has been incredible. Big Man's been very good. Like just all of the mid laners I feel like are really solid. So I feel like for the Warriors to do well, it needs to be Dardas, being the player that he can be, and you just don't get a big enough sample size because he was on bad ping all of last year.
Right.
So if he returns to that, that team will be very good again.
Anyone else have other thoughts on the Warriors before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing. Like, even just from this like split so far, you've seen like very high highs and very low lows.
Right.
Yeah.
Like to be like Leviathans, and like when we played them, they didn't look like the best probably, but yeah, I don't know. I think consistency is going to be a big thing, but they definitely have a high ceiling if they can stay like consistent. You know.
Do you guys think the SPL is? I feel like we've said this the last few years. Do you think it's looking to be one of the most competitive seasons that we've had as of late? Feels like every team is going back and forth with one another,
Yeah.
and so it looks like it'll be a very strong year.
Yeah, I think every year the skill gap gets closer and closer between every player, and then it comes down to just drafts pretty much. So whoever has a better draft should just win.
Right.
And it kind of comes down to like whoever shows up on that day and just has their day is just going to beat the team. Like it doesn't matter if it's the Leviathans or it's the Valks. Like if the Valks come in on their high day, they're going to beat the Leviathans potentially. And same thing with like the Leviathans, they're like really great, but there's days where they're going to come in and not going to be as great. So I think this year, I don't think there's going to be any team that's 10-0, top of the league, undefeated. I think everyone's going to be pretty much neck and neck, and it's just going to depend on like woke up, had a good breakfast, feeling good, so maybe you're just going to play super well that day.
Makes for an exciting year.
Definitely the best at like whatever I said before, like whatever the worst team is. I don't know who the worst team in the league is, but whoever it is definitely better than the bottom team has ever been. Like
In the past,
yeah,
right?
because we've had like 1 in 29 like season 6 SK years. Like nobody is like that. That's for sure.
Right.
No, it was a
No,
European SK team.
That was like the fun baller team.
Yeah. Oh, that was season 5, not season 6.
Fun baller
my bad.
lobster.
Yeah.
Looked right over it.
Yeah.
Let's get some quick thoughts on the Valkyries this year, because it's a roster that's stuck together through the SEC, and they talked to us about wanting to stick together. They qualified. They definitely deserve the spot. I agree that they look like a talented team that's going to grow into this year. Obviously, with switching from SEC to SPL, there's going to be some growing pains associated with that. So, maybe phase 2, phase 3, do we expect them to be a competitive team? I guess you sort of answered that there with on any given day, if they play their best. Do you think they're already there, where if they play their best and the team is slacking a little bit, that they'll be taking sets off teams, or do you think they need a little bit more time to grow into it?
I think it's close at least. I don't know if it's completely there or not. It's still pretty early. I think regardless, the team's pretty exciting, but yeah, maybe like if a team's like feeling really off, they definitely can. But like I don't know, if like a team's playing well and the Valkyries are playing their best, the team playing well will probably take it. But yeah, I think what they've shown so far is pretty promising, and they should only be getting like better.
Right.
The learning curve is so steep. Like the Leviathans, the first year they were in the SPL a couple years ago with Sanguine, like they were first that split. The Valks, I don't think will be like that. I'd be pretty surprised, but like, regardless of placement, if you just look at individual like player improvement that year for the Sanguine team, now Leviathans, like they learned so much like month to month because kind of as Daniel had said earlier, like you're not used to scrimming like that regimented against like that high quality opponents all the time. So you're kind of just thrown in like a time chamber, and you just learn so quickly, like the meta, the picks, how people play the map, like how different players play, and once you're conditioned against that over and over and over, like I think it's most likely that there's still like a bottom 4 team throughout the year, but bottom 4 does not mean that like they can't win a set in a tournament, for example.
I mean, it's different from, again, how bottom 4 or bottom 2 or whatever meant in past years.
Yeah, I mean, bottom 4 or top 4 is normally just like a matter of consistency. So I expect like, that's where you expect like really experienced teams or teams with like a ton of talent to be towards the top. But that doesn't mean like, upsets always happen.
Right.
Like you saw that with like the Scarabs last year. They were a bottom 4 team all year, but they can still like get hot at the right time and, win a set and make games close.
They also like, even though the season started and a lot of teams do have everybody here, they don't have Wowie or Gamma here yet.
Yeah.
And I think a part of like the appeal and like, especially for a team like that like grinded and made it all the way to the SPL and is like now going to live here and play here, like just all being together and like going to the studio and playing and like hanging out and doing stuff outside of the game will be really big. And like they haven't been able to experience that yet. So regardless of whether or not they're going to get better because of that, or maybe, somehow it could make them worse, like, they start hating each other or just like partying too much, don't even show up to the games.
That's right.
But regardless of whatever the outcome is, like they haven't even got to experience like the fun part of it. So I would say that we kind of have to hold our judgment until then.
There's still some growth to be done. I'm excited about Season 9. I think a lot of the teams are very close, and this Jade Dragon team is looking dangerous. So everyone else needs to watch out. Let's move on to some fan Q&A, the more fun portion of this segment. This is a very specific question, and I'll start the quote here. You know that thing people do where one person sits on another person's shoulders and they wear a comically oversized trench coat so that they can just look like one really tall guy?
Yeah.
Which duo of Jade Dragons could best pull this off? End quote.
Well, you need the same girth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, I can be your legs.
You could be my legs.
Sure.
You'd be pretty top heavy.
No, that's fine.
I was thinking I
it's
gotta
like-
be. I was thinking I'm the bottom here.
You think so? I think Alec and like Daniel could pull it off.
Oh, that's true.
Or maybe Alec and Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Pull it off.
we could pull that off pretty well. Let's
Now
do
that I
it.
think about it, yeah.
Yeah, but
We'll try
Sam would
it.
have to be the top because I feel like if he
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
bottom, he would just
Yeah,
be
yeah.
laughing
I'd be
way
top
too
for
much.
sure.
Yeah, but if you're the top, you have to be like comically evil, you know?
Right.
It'd be like,
Gotta play a
yes,
part.
yes, I
can
am
nail that?
18 years old. I can get into this club. That's
true.
how they always do it. So,
Is that our answer then, Sam and
I think Alec
Fino?
and
I'm
Sam.
cool with that. Yeah.
wait, what would you even need to do that for?
At this age,
If you're at
probably
the
not.
I
age-
think
Yeah,
it's best
if
not to
you're
say
old
that
enough.
on camera,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. We need to
Yeah.
do that.
Is there
Just
anything
for
that
fun.
that two people would want to get into that you only want to like it's super expensive?
Maybe
Like it wouldn't be an
concert.
age thing at this point. It would be like a money thing, trying to get two people into
Right.
Like a
Like a movie theater or
roller
something like
coaster
that.
made for NBA
No,
players.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like a
Right, I
concert.
got one ticket to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I got one ticket to the
Oh.
Super Bowl, and here's my 8-foot dad.
Yeah. Hey, we made a roller coaster, and it's only for professional athletes above the height of 6'6" or something.
It's an NBA player-only theme park. That's
yeah,
what it
exactly.
is.
That's
Alright,
got
we're
to be a
getting-
risk, you know, like,
Yeah.
because at some point they're just strapping one of the two of you in. You're holding
That's
on for
true.
dear
That
life
would be dangerous.
for the person on top. All right, so maybe for the Super Bowl or something we can try that out. Fino, this one's very specific, and I have no idea if there's a backstory to this or something, but somebody asked it. Could Fineokay microwave a burrito so hot that you yourself couldn't eat it?
I mean, yeah, surely.
I feel like the
There is no
answer
backstory to that. I think the backstory is in the question. I don't know. I definitely.
I mean, yeah, you can get a hot
For
burrito.
sure, right?
Okay,
You could
but
burn that sucker to a crisp.
Bria has a superpower where she can eat anything, like, doesn't matter how hot it is, and
Yeah.
it doesn't, like, burn her tongue or anything.
Heat-wise?
superpower.
Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
Not like anything. Obviously, she puts, like, liquid hot magma in her mouth. She's gonna hurt. But
In reality,
You
right?
sound
something
like
that
a-
I can't eat, she can eat, and she'll be like, oh,
Like
it's
an evil
fine.
scientist.
You sound like an Austin
Magma.
Powers villain.
Yeah, that's right. But, yeah, probably
Yes,
pretty easily.
$1 million.
Yeah,
You could
okay.
microwave it.
Yeah, I don't know what that question was about, Guy, but
I don't have great memories, so maybe this is something I'm forgetting.
right, at some point you talked about being able to like eat a hot pocket straight
Like a
out
really
of
Wait, how do you even
burrito.
remember
Like a
that you don't have great memory?
Really hot burrito.
Where am I?
Are you going to play chalk at some point? That's what somebody else wants to know.
No.
No. Okay. No.
So scared.
I mean, maybe. Everything's on the
be.
table, but...
Yeah, that's the
Or we want to be
flexibility.
a flexible team.
yeah,
right?
yeah, but...
Got three-way flex here.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah,
Chalk mid is OP.
they're good chalk players.
This might be a hard question because I can only think of one roster with this. What element God theme would make the best team?
Like you mean like fire, ice,
Like
that
a
sort of
whole
thing?
fire team, a whole ice team. I think,
What are the?
and we will count Merlin as flexible in this.
Okay.
Like,
I think
Gotta be
wa-
ice.
Merlin's OP then.
I think water's pretty good, right? Emoja,
Emoja.
Hebo.
Yeah, Emoji
That's
Hebo
pretty good.
Poseidon,
We
that
don't have
seems
100.
nice.
Charybdis
Yeah.
could be
Gonna be with
hard.
skins?
How about Scotty? Does ice count as water? I
Yeah,
mean, we
well,
could have that discussion if you want.
Yes, I mean,
Is ice wet? I don't.
It's slippery.
it starts melting.
It gets
Actually,
slippery.
it'll be water, right?
So that means water's wet, right?
Yeah.
Is there even
know.
another full team outside of water?
Yeah, I don't even.
Like
Earth,
Gab,
Gab,
Sylv.
Gab.
Gab
Does
Sylv.
Sylv count as Earth? I mean, he's a plant guy.
guess.
Terra is Earth.
Well, my question is, can you
Yeah.
use skins?
No.
If we can't come up
Okay.
with gods, just
Well,
Yeah,
what
right,
about
then yes.
fire?
Hebo can be like magma, right?
Like Shiva
Like,
counts
does
as
skin
fire
count?
now, right? Like,
Yeah, I
Shiva
guess.
has some
So
fire.
you have like
Agni.
Agni, Shiva,
Soul.
Ares,
Soul
Soul.
could be your hunter.
Yeah.
Ares has flames.
Do we have another warrior or something? A physical? We need a physical. An assassin?
Pele.
Pele, yeah.
Nice, so nice.
Pele,
Lock
nice.
that in. Lock that in.
All right, so that team versus the water team, who wins?
Well, the
The
water
water should
team
just
has
win,
the
right?
water
So-
team has Emoja and Hebo. So those
There's
are
got to
good.
be more water, right?
Those are good characters.
Or just Poseidon.
Wait, look
but-
over there.
Yeah,
Look on
Emoja,
that.
Hebo,
We said
Poseidon,
Charybdis too.
Charybdis.
Oh, yeah, we can look over there.
Yeah,
He's kind
Yamoja,
of
Hebo,
squinting real
Poseidon,
hard.
Kerberos. Well, do Scotty and Ymir count? That's the question. Is
Scotty,
Ice-
yeah, they do. They do.
Alphonse Water, right? His one.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
Is there a lightning team? I
Well,
guess Pele can be lightning.
Pele
Yeah,
can be lightning too.
Zeus, Pele.
Zeus, Pele.
Yeah.
Is there a hunter
Is
that?
that all it is?
Thunder?
It's a Scotty and Krubus.
Maybe there aren't enough elements as a whole squad.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
good.
well, what's the nature team? That'd be like
Be like Geb,
Geb, Silvterra.
AMC.
Kraken?
How's AMC
He's a
nature?
bee. It's part of nature.
Yeah, the birds and the bees is literally that's peak nature.
You just
You're
pick
counting
any
every
animal.
animal. You're counting
Hiram.
rat, Fenrir.
Yeah, that team would be OP.
Nature's OP.
Okay,
so
nature's
fun.
broken, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
So dynamic.
The nature team wins.
That's a cop out, man.
Mike's
Fire,
unhappy with
fire
it.
What about
team
the
wins.
windy team? Susano, Gilgamesh.
Oh,
That
that's
sounded
Kukulkan?
nice. That
Yeah,
sounded
okay.
nice.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Who else is
What else we
windy?
got?
Jingwei. She's
Jingwei.
Is there any guardian that's windy? You need a guardian on that squad.
King 10, isn't it Whirlwind?
Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. Maybe his
That's
Whirlwind.
more like a rage and seal
There's
thing.
wind
though.
in there.
Yeah, but it's like a whirlwind.
I'm looking at it. I mean, the wisps are kind of windy.
How about
from
Horus?
Savant.
How about Horus?
Horus could be windy.
Yeah, Horse is an air guy.
Wind is pretty OP.
Yeah, he's a big air guy.
Yeah, wind's looking good
He
here.
has
actually.
persistent gusts.
Yeah, Horus is sounding nice. You don't have a lot of magical damage
Wind
on
gust
that.
from
Oh,
from
Eset,
from
that's
Eset.
it. That's it. You nailed it. We needed a magical
Oh yeah,
god.
it's air.
There you
You
go.
did it, you
Wind.
son of a.
Yeah. What about like Shadow, like Hades,
Nox.
Nox?
Nox
I
is
guess
nice.
kind of counts.
You have Hades
Yeah.
on the team.
Nah, Hades is some
Never
trash,
winning.
bro. He's an E tier. Open your eyes.
I guess X-Ball is kind of like.
Yeah, X-Ball, he turns out the
Well,
lights a little bit.
surely Cleo counts for Shadow.
Would she?
Yeah.
She's really in the
She's
shadows.
in the walls, bro. She's gotta be.
I guess fair
She's
enough.
actually the goddess of beauty as well.
Is she
Who is?
now?
Yeah.
Cleena?
Yeah, Kleena.
She's kind of hot.
The new skin, right?
All right.
The one with the like.
It's
angler
either
face.
Pagon
beauty,
doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, he
beauty
wears
or
it.
love or something. So, I don't
That's
know.
Geb.
I was a little confused.
Baba Yaga.
I'm just surprised we were able to make more than I thought. We were just going to be stuck on water, to be honest. So I'm surprised that we got a little flexible.
Well done.
We figured it out.
Playoffs.
Yeah, it's nice.
Wormy, the god designer of the Jade Emperor asked this. Who's picking the Jade Emperor first?
I haven't even seen him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know his
know what he
kid.
does.
I
Oh,
know,
wait, do we know
I'll
his kid?
play
yet?
him.
no,
It's
I know it's
a
a
mage.
mage, so I guess
Yeah.
Daniel's
Alex
playing
probably,
it.
I don't
Really?
touch new gods for like 2
Oh,
months.
like in comp or just in general? What? Yeah, that's usually what I don't.
Or I gotta
do.
make a
it's
YouTube
too much
video out of
time.
him.
Yeah, I'll go
So
play the new god first.
Well,
probably.
we all know Wormy's going to be the first one to play it and get it to level 10 immediately in one night, which is absurd to me.
Yeah.
But,
that is absurd. I don't. It's so hard to play characters back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah, you guys couldn't one trick? If you had to one trick,
I can.
so
I've
you,
done it before.
so you
I
start
have done
a
it.
you start a Smurf account and you're going first ranked game until like Masters or whatever. What one trick do you bring out?
Uller, every game.
That's not bad.
Is that because it's
In-
good or
in our-
because you can stand playing it or both?
In our roles or what?
And he's just fun.
I guess everywhere, because
Like in our if it's
you're never gonna get your roll always.
Yeah. Then I'm playing Baron any role. I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like
Baron.
Thor.
Thor's
good
nice.
Vamana.
Thor ADC.
Oh, Vamana's
Yeah,
okay.
he's
Thor-
very
Vamana's
good.
okay.
Dude, that would
God
get
is
so
very
boring
good.
so fast.
I think
Yeah,
it's
he really
boring.
does.
Yeah.
You're
But he's so fun for
What
a
was,
little bit.
what was the question before that?
We were still on
play
the
the god
the Jade
first?
Emperor first.
No, if you could one trick a god.
Oh, if you can one trick again.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like I think one tricking like you guys have never done that. Like you just want to get good at a character, you just spam it.
That's how I used
When
to
I-
learn
I
gods.
spam it, but I don't play it
When I
every
learned-
single game.
I'll play like 5 games.
Mix
in
it up
row.
a little bit.
No, I won't do
I
that.
don't think that counts
No?
as one tricking. 5 games in a row?
No, well, that was like a lighter end of it. Like I've had like an alt account in the past. Like I've named my Smurf. Like when Ymir got buffed like
Yeah.
a couple years ago, I made my Smurf name Boom Haha, and all I did was play Ymir and alt and type Boom Haha when I killed people. It was nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What do we think
I
about-
got capped on that account too. It was nice.
What do we think about accounts who are like named after the god that they only play?
That's good role play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
It's good role play.
Sure.
It can be. Some of them.
You gotta get.
They're
the
not
mix.
role playing. They're just.
It's gotta be good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'm sure you've run into some really bad one tricks. Yeah, if you're gonna one trick, you gotta be good at it, right? That's the way she goes. All right, so what kind of sauce do you put on your nugs?
I'm a hot sauce man. I put
Ketchup.
hot sauce on everything.
Oh no, not ketchup.
Barbecue?
Ketchup
either-
on nugs?
I'm a ketchup hater personally.
Ketchup's good for fries, but not chicken
You don't put
nuggets.
ketchup on chicken nuggets?
I'd rather
No.
honey
You
mustard
are
on chicken
different.
You
nuggets.
need
but I'm just a
to
hot
you need to
sauce
use
guy.
ranch, barbecue
Yeah.
sauce,
Buffalo, maybe?
hot sauce.
Nice
Yeah.
buffalo
I'm
sauce.
a buffalo and a hot sauce
I think
guy.
hot sauce or ketchup would be my go-to.
You can do both.
Hot sauce.
You
is
can
I've
good.
been making a really good buffalo chicken wrap here recently.
Ooh, that sounds
Just
nice.
on cooldown.
Yeah.
You want it really quick?
Yeah.
All right, you half the chicken breast, a little salt, a little pepper, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and then Cajun seasoning is the thing that they have like in a little shaker.
Yeah.
Put that on there. 415 in the oven, 8 minutes aside, 16 total minutes. Take it out, toss it in some buffalo sauce
That's nice.
on a wrap.
What are you putting in that wrap? Yeah. What's going in this wrap?
little bit of lettuce,
Okay.
some shredded cheddar cheese on the side. If you're cutting, fat-free cheddar cheese works just fine. And then I do blue cheese sauce over the top of it. Rewrap it back in the oven for like 3 minutes.
Oh, that's nice. You're getting that toasty.
Half it.
Nice and toasty.
You know, the diagonal half, so it's a little pointy on either side of the wrap.
Oh.
Do you share the cross
So it's
section?
easier to put in your
Yeah.
mouth.
You get the
To
perfect
myself,
cheese
yeah.
pool.
Right.
You can insert
bowl?
that in the mouth a little bit easier.
Right. You can put the point right in your mouth.
Nice.
And then
Is that better
enjoy.
than yours?
Wait, what?
Max making the same thing.
That's like, I literally do the exact
You make
same
something
thing. pretty
similar?
much, Yeah. I use the exact same seasonings.
And it's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's good. I've been
We'll
making a
share it, though.
quesadilla though. Because it's easier
too.
than wrapping it up because my wrap keeps ripping. So.
Yeah.
You're
That
overstuffing
keeps
it.
ripping.
You gotta have 2 wraps.
No, I don't know. It's just a bad wrap, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Just-
not good
it's
at
just
wrapping.
Like,
That's
I
what
like
I
wrap
learned.
it in half and it just rips. I'm
Like the people at Chipotle don't know how to wrap the
Dude.
burrito.
Yeah, that just pisses
Well,
me off,
if it's
man.
because they overstuffed it, that's a fine thing. Like someone to get all the.
No.
That's
all
what
the
you get
food
for
anyway.
double meating it. You double meated it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you
Double
blame
meat,
that.
double
and then you
rice.
blame
No,
the-
it's actual
You
amateurs
blame
that
those
don't know how to
poor
wrap a
employees.
burrito.
They're busting their
think-
butt day and night.
I think this leans into the next question, and I think a lot of people are curious. If you had to swap gym routines for a week, who would you swap it with? I know a couple of you work out together, but
Like on the
Swap
team?
gym
or-
routines?
sure, on either
just in general?
either on. I think
Like
they
my-
meant on the team, but if somebody in general that you'd
My
either-
normal routine or like what I've been doing now? Because I've been doing nothing now.
I'd say what
I'll
you
take that.
normally
Yeah,
do.
my normal routine. No way anyone's taking my normal routine.
What is your normal
Yeah, no
routine?
shot.
Like 3 hours of lifting.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm an hour and a half. And
Somebody, like, I might be able to do your routine, not your weight though.
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah.
Maybe
You
like
have
do
to
the
do their weight,
routine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I mean, you just have to build your muscular stamina. But I do take like on my heavy sets. I take a good break.
Mike
so.
just told you guys to get strong in a very
Steroids
good way.
No. It's about the mental fortitude to stay in the weight room for 3 hours. That's what it is.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
Your headphones die.
I don't have it
Mental-
anymore either. That's what I'm saying.
Dave smiles at you from
Yeah.
across the gym. You roll your eyes. You're about to get into a conversation. It's horrible. All right, a couple final questions here. My computer died, so I'm off my phone. Who has the worst ideas during picks and bans?
So many.
So many bad ideas from
Alec.
one person? Or?
Why'd you say me?
Okay, in
Here's what he does. He says, guys, you gotta be
memory in
flexible.
scrimmage,
Okay, in
Alec.
scrims, I agree it's Alec, but I don't think so in actual games.
no, yeah. Well, wasn't the question in scrims?
It just says in P's and B's. They left it vague.
Yeah, I don't know. On game day,
It's definitely not me.
I think Alec has some really great ideas, but a lot of them are pretty bad.
Alex just doesn't like to take things seriously.
Alex, the guy
a
who like,
broken
gives
clock is right twice a day.
That's true.
Alex, the guy who gives like 50 opinions and one of them's right. He's like, "See, I told you guys that was okay."
Even a blind
That's not
squirrel finds a nut
true.
every once in a
Yeah,
while.
it's
you
probably
know?
not 50. It's like a 21.
Because
ratio.
the other 49 things I say, they don't even try or test.
Right.
So how are they supposed
Right,
to
who
know whether
knows?
it's not?
Who knows? Is there a close second to Fino? Bad ideas?
I don't know. Has Daniel had good or bad ideas?
Mine are all good.
I think he has some bad ones probably.
Yeah, I think
Like
so
what?
too.
Is he vocal with his ideas during picks and bans?
Well, I don't
No one
care
listens
about
to me in
you
picks and
played
bans.
for the first week of scrims. You only played Tiamat. That's all you did. You just played Tiamat.
Yeah, because I would first pick every game. What am I first picking?
Why were you first pick? You're just
I
like,
don't
yeah,
think you first
No one wants to pick, so I'm like,
Bro,
yeah, just pick
first
Tiamat.
pick, second, bottom two, it didn't matter. You're just like, yeah, Tiamat here.
I mean, Tiamat's pretty good, huh?
She's
No,
good.
I have like a 40% win rate, I think.
I don't know.
It's
All right, so Tiamat's a bad idea.
No, it's the player, not the god, I think.
Yeah, it's the wand, not the wizard, right?
Yeah. I'll just play it next
Wait,
time.
Mike, our scrim doc? That's wrong. It says your win rates for everything is above 50%.
No way, that's right.
That is just wrong.
Dominant.
I think it's that all my losses are condensed to a couple characters. I'm gonna keep picking them.
Just
though.
dominant.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep picking them.
It's all the good characters that they're condensed to.
Yeah.
All the meta ones.
Maybe along that vein, who is the most and least responsible for attending scrim blocks on time?
I
Tending.
think we're all pretty punctual.
Alex been late once. That's
If
it.
being late once is the most irresponsible, that's a really good thing for this
I
game.
was at the soup kitchen.
It was the only time
so-
someone was late.
Yeah.
You're sneaking into a place in a trench
I'd
coat.
say in the past, I would say Max was the least responsible, but it's like barely. Like he'll come like 5 minutes late, but I don't think anyone is irresponsible.
If it's who shows up super tired,
yeah,
barely
that's Max for
saying
sure.
anything,
That's Max for
listening
sure.
to music the
Nobody's
entire
there,
time,
right?
then it's about
Sam, he's
like
playing
The
seriously.
worst scrim etiquette is like if anyone, it's Max, but it's really not even Max.
Yeah, but you can't blame me. It's
right.
my role.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So Max, but
But not really.
But I play ADC, so I'm like excused.
like it's still like pretty
he
responsible.
doesn't take
in the
scrim
grand scheme.
serious though.
Yeah.
I do.
That's the problem with kids in his generation, isn't it?
I take scrim super serious, and he just
No, yeah.
jokes around the whole time.
You guys not part of the same generation?
I'm like 26. I'm 25. I'm knocking on the door.
Max is like 20, right?
He's 22, right?
22.
Yeah.
19.
I turned 27 the other day. That was weird.
Happy birthday.
I turned 26 soon. Yeah, belated happy birthday.
Oh,
I'm coming up on
thanks, guys.
27.
Yeah, everyone tell me happy. That was the point of that. Everyone go ahead.
I forgot my gift. Dang it.
It was
all
only
right,
like
final-
6 months ago. He's like, yeah, it was the other day.
That was last year's birthday.
Yeah, my next one's actually in a week.
Final question for you guys. If you had to make, if one player on your team played all 5 roles on game day,
Me.
Yeah, me.
It's easily me.
who would be the best
Me.
team?
No.
No way. I
Dude,
played
it's
4 roles in
easily
rank.
me.
Four ranked roles.
It's not Max because I don't think Max would be.
Yeah, Max would be.
You wouldn't be as good of a support or jungler. I think.
That's
Maybe,
not
well, support
true.
for
That's
sure.
not
Support
true.
for sure.
He'd be a good jungler. You want to be a good solo.
Okay, here's the role diversity
I
here.
would
Okay,
literally be the best in every role
Daniel.
if I
Daniel's
tried.
a
No, you
nice
wouldn't.
support and jungle. So Daniel's got the mid trio and he's a pretty good ADC. Daniel and solo, I don't
The
know.
Jing Wei today?
His solo is
Good.
really
Yeah, I
bad.
think Daniel's solo probably pretty bad, but the other four.
I
Are
played
nice.
solo in SEC. I won the set.
I think Alec is probably good at every role. ADC is the questionable one.
No,
It's
I'm
definitely
actually low key kind of insane
He
at
lost
ADC.
the Honor duel to everyball.
No, I didn't.
This guy plays
I think I
handball and
lost,
does the most
but I
basic
wanted to
TPs.
win.
And he's
You
like,
lost it.
you should watch
Okay.
my
He's too old to play handball.
Okay, I don't know.
Maybe it comes down to which role is it easiest to be like to have weak on your
Sam would
team.
troll
and
the
like-
hardest is the
ADC.
problem.
What?
Dude.
Sam's the most flexible, but
I
he would
would not
also
troll.
troll the hardest by far. Not
Doesn't
even
sound like me.
So that's a mental thing, not a skill thing.
Well, you gotta break this down. Are we competing against other teams, number one player in each
Yeah,
role?
you go into an SPL week and you have like 5 Pandacats or 5.
Okay, I think it would be me because whoever played solo for the other teams would get diffed too hard by me in that role, and I would just be decent at every other role, right?
Fair enough.
Because you can't really get diffed that hard in mid.
Do you guys
Right.
drug test before we come here? Or no?
No. We don't. Are we on board with Fino? No.
No shot.
It's me or
We're
Sam.
not gonna agree to
Yeah,
anything.
Daniel and I, we both agree with that.
I think I'm.
I don't
You
think
two in a
so.
trench coat for sure.
I would be a detriment in
In a
ADC.
trench coat.
I'm taking Daniel
But
because I
ADC
think
is useless.
I'm taking Daniel because I
Right, Max?
decided solo lane is the easiest to like make an impact.
He would
in
get-
team.
Play so
No,
he
in
would get
team
diffed.
fights, just
Right,
in
that's
team
true.
fights.
Fair.
In lane, he'd
No.
get diffed. It
No,
doesn't
I
matter.
picked so big in lane.
It would
I just-
matter.
I just
Bro,
don't-
he is literally playing a Wheelix support and jungle at the same time.
Dude, have you
cannot
seen his
jump in
solo
that game.
though? His solo is.
Yeah.
just as good as yours.
I don't think there's ever going to be a good answer to this question, but I'll let you guys.
It probably
keep
is
talking
me.
about
Wait.
I'm the best dueler.
I'm
for
better
sure.
at mid than you are at solo.
Well, I'm better at
Definitely.
everything else.
He's a way better. He's a way better.
don't
Definitely not
There's
better.
never- there's
I
never
wouldn't
gonna
say
be
you're
a
way
good
better
answer
at
to this.
jungle. Maybe at like
I
support.
think in Final K's eyes, it's him. Panda still thinks it's him.
I think we all think it's ourselves.
Mike has been selfless. He hasn't thrown his name in the hat yet. And these two have agreed that maybe
You know,
one or the other.
if we played
That's one of
duel,
us.
they're getting smoked. That's for
That's
sure.
not even true.
That's not even true.
You'd get farmed.
Good thing
not
we're
even
not on the
true.
duel
Duel's
map.
so easy.
You'd get farmed.
One day
totally
we'll get an answer to this. Thanks, guys, though, for sitting down with me. That was the Jade Dragons team check-in and Q&A. Thanks,
vote's
everyone,
Sam.
for asking those questions.
Yes, it's Sam.
Sam gets the... That's like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they all vote for themselves once, and one guy votes for the other person, and so now Sam is the
Yeah.
technical winner.
All right, I vote
Sam's the
Daniel
winner of this one. That was the Jade Dragons team check-in. Thanks for watching. It's chaos here. Everyone else at home, stick around. More Jade Dragons content coming up.
Hey, wait, what did it win?
You win the respect.
Telling me an alien wore this?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, that was a good cut.
Messaging him to mute.
The best graphics you really need, Ultra, of course, and I can probably watch a stream on the side.
Content's gonna look good.
Pretty good, pretty good.